All right, we are back for let's say an hour. I'm gonna try to get a few more things done here. Sweep is going. I mean, that's something. Yeah, look at this. We have 55 experiments. Score. Uh-huh. This is 1E8, so 100 mil. Relative time. 29 seconds. Possibly gets way faster, we'll see. Decent runs. Alright, what are we gonna do here? Kinda just wanna like check the dues. I mean, we did most of the stuff I wanted to do today, right? Most of it. Still gonna need stuff like Atari. That stuff all fixed up. I want to just hang around like running little experiments, right? MP perf check. Actually, the Pong speed run thing would be a kind of a cool GIF. But it's a little silly how long. You know what? Why don't we just like... We just figure out something with the comms, maybe? Like, how many flops should comms be? Hey, Twitch folks. I'd like to just find, like, you know, the one extra thing I can do today. Because I'm pretty tired, but I'd like to just at least find, like, one extra thing I can get done. I mean, neural MMO3 perf stuff. Like a maybe. I can probably... There are a couple optimizations I could think of, to be fair. What about, Impulse Wars? Oh yeah, the other thing was, with Breakout. I didn't realize we had frame skip in there. That's kind of bad. Why are these guys still in here? What are you guys still doing in here?
We're just chatting.
Alright.
Yeah, just chatting. That's what all those people on Twitch are doing always. Just chatting.
We're chatters.
That was you know, querying him as to some of the research that he's done recently, and
See. I'm trying to find like one more thing I can do tonight, even though I'm kind of tired.
how was dinner?
Dinner's good.
What was dinner?
Salad, and meatballs and mashed potatoes. Good.
Ah, sounds good. As long as it's not a weird salad.
No? Good salad. Let me think.
You want to do something. Depends on how easy you want.
I'm just trying to think of like stuff I can get done for the release. It's because it's like one thing after another.
It is one thing after another. There's someone mentioned they have an environment that they PR'd.
Who did?
Someone on the
Oh, the
stream.
CPR env.
Yeah, CPR. Yep.
I can merge that stuff. The thing is, I kind of have to like merge all this into dev at some point.
Well, you choose whether or not you want to merge, stuff into the release branch and then into dev, or just into dev and then. Either way, you're gonna be looking at potentially conflicting things.
Can I like tommel the CUDA extension?
No, it throws an error if you try.
If I could figure out how to get it so that you can actually build the damn package, that would be nice.
I know, right?
There is a way to add. Wait, build packets are typically do TOML usage.
What is TOML?
TOML. Pi project
Yeah.
TOML.
Yeah, it's another setup.py ish.
Got it.
See, the issue is I need to have different build backends. Or different, was this, command class? Different command class. Is obnoxious. Put stuff into Grok and see if it just leads me down rabbit holes that don't make any bloody sense like it usually does.
Every so often you'll get lucky. of this library that I'm building.
Next week will be fun. We get many more deliveries to hear. Almost fully set up. Let's see what this rock told us to do. By this thing, I hate Python tooling so much. It's just like so ass. You know? Just bad. And like, the devs should feel bad because the code is bad. I wish we could just get rid of PyTorch. Honestly, it's like, can we like build our own that's better?
I have news for you.
Huh?
You could, in fact, build your own,
That would be fun.
or go back to TensorFlow,
No,
or go
that
to
sounds
Jax.
worse. Oh, that also sounds pretty bad. I don't know,
Does do
I
sound
could
real
try
bad.
some TinyGrad. At least those devs care about building stuff that's good. PyTorch is just so bloated.
It does a lot these days. That's
I
for
managed
sure.
to get an error on build that prompted me to an internal Facebook login.
Huh.
So like, yeah.
Facebook handed over control to Linux, though.
Yeah, but they literally link you to like internal thing like, oh, this is hard, you should get help. Like, yeah, thanks. Yeah, I don't buy the Zuck maker for 1 minute. We know you're an Android. Figure this thing out tonight. I can actually merge it and not have everybody hate this. Return to a this returns you a huh. Huh?
Is what I pasted there the error you get?
No, did I ship something bad?
I mean, all I did was run setup. I did not comment. I have it just the. This is release branch, of course.
There is a semicolon there. And it is committed, so I don't know why there's no semicolon there.
Expected semicolon before.
Wait, hang on. Is it the previous line?
Maybe.
I don't see a missed semicolon. I'll try to build it in a second.
I don't see it either. Um,
I built it clean. That's weird.
could be a me issue.
There should be no Scython in here at all.
There isn't because in setup there's a Scythonize.
Yeah, but there's no. Yeah, I don't call it though.
You don't call extension paths.
I don't see it anywhere.
Am I looking at the wrong setup file?
I don't call that Scythonize. Nowhere.
I must be looking at the wrong setup. Hmm.
Shouldn't need to frickin' Scythonize Torch. Is Grok your fave? I just got sick of like all of the frickin' companies leapfrogging each other every other month and people just having to hop around constantly with a million different subscriptions. So I just have this. It's included with with X membership, which I already have. It's like going to be the best like 1 month out of 4.
Okay, that's weird. Yeah, I had a different, a different version there. Oh, that's why.
Python packaging is just awful. Like, this is just awful shit. It's not fucking documented properly either at all. For some reason, Torch is calling Scython.
That's weird.
Yeah, these things happen. I don't know. Pieboy also uses Scython in compilation, but doesn't actually like use it.
Fix RL, then fix Python. Nah. I think if I fix RL, it's probably going to be fix aging next. Because that one seems like a real bitch. Might be AI complete, though. Even when I take Scython out of the build requires, it still uses it.
Oh, we should probably make sure we put requires Python 3.12.
Brian Johnson's only trying to, like, minorly reduce aging, not fix it.
Oh, okay. So was it not supposed to compile or something?
This work. Is anyone trying to fix it? Max Yetterberg is doing cool stuff at the moment. But he's doing, like, general drug discovery, curing diseases. I don't know if he considers aging a disease. And I don't know if there's, like, a drug that fixes it. But like I said, it might just be AI complete. It might be that people, like, we're too stupid to solve it anytime in the near future unless we just solve AI. I don't know. I wouldn't know until I look at it, right? It's probably a very hard problem. Has anybody, like, ever seriously tried to even do that? extension hell. Oh, hang on. So, like, I think we can just use... What's this build extension? There's such a load of garbage in here. Like, there's no way we get away from having to use this bloody thing. How is it that there's like they have a fucking arc that's just not documented anywhere that I can see at all? Hey, welcome. Alright, I have an idea. I have an idea on how we might fix this. I make multiple of these. It doesn't help that the LLMs are just really stupid.
They can't solve problems that are hard or that they haven't trained on.
Yeah, but it doesn't even go like, yeah, I don't know. It just like gives me stupid shit.
You have to tell it. You have to tell it, have a specific custom instruction like, oh, if you don't know, just tell me you don't know, and that's it.
I'm pretty sure that there have been ablations on stuff like that. You can't just say, hey, and don't be stupid. Like, it doesn't work.
You can't tell it, just don't tell me. Just tell me you don't know. It will. GPT will tell you, yeah, I don't know.
Congratulations, you've solved LLM hallucination.
No, not at all, because that's how they work, right? Like they're hallucinating things that happen to be right, basically.
Not really.
Transformers.
I mean, you hallucinate stuff that doesn't even happen to be right.
Yeah. Well, I would call
Ah,
it
I'm messing with
hallucination.
you.
I mean, it would just be incorrect thinking, right?
Okay, let's see if I can do it with this. 2D of a 2D pose estimation from Wi-Fi signals. Oh yeah, there's some weird stuff you can do with Wi-Fi, isn't there?
I'm sure there is.
There's some weird stuff you can get out of Wi-Fi that you wouldn't expect that you can get. Probably cool. I don't see if there's RL applicable in any way, but you know, probably cool.
What I think about a project is if you think it's cool, then you should go for it. There is no one truth.
Young Padawan.
Well, besides the puffer.
Puffer is truth.
Puffer
The
is
fish gotta eat.
Hey, I'm just saying, servers ain't cheap.
Yeah.
Freaking tiny boxes. Plus 12 GPUs, though.
What did those come to?
51 grand.
Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
So do you just like put that on a credit card?
Wire transfer.
You don't just put it on credit card. No one's gonna take that. Yeah, I got 2 Amex Blacks to handle it.
Yeah, no, I don't have a 50K credit card.
Well, I mean, companies do have crazy credit cards.
I do have a 25K credit card that they just randomly gave me for no reason.
Yeah, they'll do that. They want you to they want you to borrow at 35% APR.
But like, yeah, it's funny. Thoughts on Virl and Deep Scaler? Am I supposed to know what either of these are?
No, it's Deep Scaler Joseph. It's
I
different
have
than
no
Deep
idea what either of these are.
Yeah, I don't know those things.
If
Either.
this is LLM stuff, like, I'm not gonna be up to date with it.
Whoa, I just compiled it. I think.
Is
See
it
if it works.
this? Volcano Engine Reinforcement Learning? Yeah, like, whatever. Cool. Like, I don't keep up with all the LLM stuff. Like, everyone else is doing LLMs. I'm sitting here like the one person not doing LLMs.
Even I had to recently do language models,
See? Enjoy your language models. More slop.
but I don't
slop.
enjoy the language models.
Slop.
Now, there will be big money in developing a coherent interface.
There's big money in
Or-
a ton of stuff if you're smart.
Well, sure, if you're smart and or a very hard worker. Emphasis on the hard worker.
I don't know, I put decent hours in.
Yeah, just a bit.
See if this does anything. Custom build. So what is it like? What approaches do is they have a pair of signal features of a frame, image frame. That sounds like supervised learning, Ahmed. There needs to be an element of interactivity.
I had Gemini do a deep research on our setup.py. It's hilarious. It's compiled the results.
They don't use the image at all, they just use the pose data. So my idea is to try JEPA. I'll make a backbone that can stand. Yeah, that all sounds like standard supervised learning stuff, right? Okay, Wait, let's just comment this thing. Okay, so that actually does do a thing. Jeppa. Nope. Like, here's the thing, right? Like, if you ask a researcher if he's heard of a thing, the answer is most likely going to be no, but, like, could read and understand paper even if it's outside of immediate area of expertise quite quickly. RL unmeaningful. That's easy. All you have to do is uninstall X.
But Joseph, where would I get my news?
Yeah, where would I get my my advertising from, right?
Oh, they've improved the recommendation system apparently.
This build X'd.
But non-type object is not iterable.
Should I reproduce what they made? Most likely, yeah. Any advice? I mean, make sure you are getting something that is, like, relatively straightforward to reproduce. I can tell you a lot of projects, you spend like 3 to 6 months trying to reproduce something and find that the original kind of just isn't what it was claimed to be, or maybe it is, but it's finicky as hell. An idea for doing annotations using RL be applicable. A lot of examples of human annotators. You need a way to verify is the problem. Like, you can't just infinitely bootstrap annotations without a way to verify that they're actually correct. Why am I not paper clips? You are, you just haven't realized it yet. The RL is so good it made you paper clips, and then RL'd you to not even realize that you're made of paper clips.
Did I do it?
Hmm?
I compiled something and my training's running. Whoa, fast. Those epox KLs look wrong.
Setup.command.build. It's in the docs. Build ext. No. On. Okay, that's actually kind of promising.
Try this.
Hmm?
I just put in the voice chat, gen chat. Seemed to work.
What did you put?
Setup.py.
The last thing?
The whole thing.
You're building C and torch. Yeah, man, weird because I had something like this and
Could have just been the order then.
hmm,
Like the order could have just been off.
I'd also prefer to not have it do. It's kind of jank, like jamming them into one conditional command like that.
Try to run it and see if it runs on yours, because I did change something in env binding.
The thing
think
is, like, I believe that works. It's just, it's so freaking sketch.
Well, there's the other option. I hate GPT, by the way, but there's GPT's thoughts. I hate it because I mean it omitted like most of the file, right? Like
Yeah,
I said whole file. I didn't say omit everything. So
I have a rabbit right
obviously
outside my window.
Oh, there are some things. Maybe it cleaned it up. I don't know. I didn't review it super carefully, but both seem to compile.
Just a moment, I am observing the rabbit that has just jumped right outside my window.
Wait. Is it like on the windowsill or?
No, it's like, I don't know, 20 feet away.
Is it like eating stuff?
He's just chilling.
Yeah, that's what rabbits do. And they poop everywhere.
Yeah, literally just there eating grass.
It'll be pooping too. So I went to lay the perimeter wire for the robot mower, and
Oh, no, man, the rabbits are not a problem. You believe me, we have geese here. All right, geese
oh,
are
geese are
awful.
awful.
Geese
No,
are
I
freaking
agree.
awful.
Yeah, geese are not. Yeah, neither of us really particularly cares for the Canada goose.
No. I hear they're gonna have to pay tariffs at the border.
Good one.
Yo, Aaron, can you take your geese back?
Nope. You have to keep them now.
It's personal.
You see, they dropped the geese in our country and they won't even take them back.
That's
I'm
not-
coming back in less than a month.
Oh, you think you are? You're gonna come back maybe if you take your geese, we'll think about it.
Just
You want me to swap
wait.
places with the geese?
Yeah, we'll take you, and then Canada can have all the friggin' geese back. How
Just
about
make sure
that?
in your next grant, you got to make sure you have geese in there. Otherwise, it's gonna get rejected.
I'll tell you what, we'll trade Canada. We'll give you geese back, and you give us some of those harp seals you have.
What are you gonna do with them?
I don't know. Keep them. They're cool.
Keep them. They might have other ideas about that.
No, they're chill. They're just chill. They'll just like lounge around. I don't know. Feed them some fish.
Yeah, sounds smelly. Nothing against seals as animals.
Yeah, you kind of need to hose them down. Little torch.
Oh, I see. So without the changes, it's not compiling now. I made 3 changes to env binding. Let me just see if GPT's version compiles.
See, it's like it's doing some weirdo stuff here. It's
No,
like compiling this stuff.
This change here. This change should fix it without breaking it. Whoop. All right. Each
or
one,
change to do.
each one of them needs to be this.
Yeah,
But
that
like,
does break it.
what does it do?
Well, like for observations in particular, it totally should break it because the point is that it's a cast from a void star.
That's the old. That's the old. You're gonna replace. Sorry, that was not clear. Let me get rid of this thing.
I don't know why it's messing with this anyways. Why is it giving me an error on something that shouldn't be an error?
One sec. I have the solution.
Does it
And
have like
tell
some
me-
like does it have like like error on warning or whatever?
I don't think so.
That's what it is at
There
the
you go.
moment.
Try that. Each search each of those three and replace them with each of those.
Okay, action's still totally wrong there.
I mean, that does look a little sus.
Yeah, it's you compiled like
Why are
one
you?
env or whatever.
No,
Like they're gonna have different data types depending on the env. The point was
Yeah.
that it's a cast from a void star.
Yeah, right. So that you could actually use it. I wonder.
And like it annoys me that like I know that this is valid C, and it's like there's some bullshit argument in here. Like C++ 17 or whatever. I don't know why this is like it's C code. And it's trying to compile my shit with C++, which pisses me off.
Yeah. Oh, everything compiles. So if we run an environment, then
Maybe we do have to do your style of thing. I think I can clean it up a bit.
mode train. What's one that has? Oh, cart pull should be.
That's so freaking jank.
All right, we're gonna print these actions. Is that because I'm explicitly casting them? Oh, it's because I have this line in here. We remove that. Oh, then it breaks. You said there's clipping in there already? Okay.
Hmm.
Then I can get rid of this whole.
Well, the clipping's in the clean PufferLib.
Right. So in the Python file for the env, we can just do self-ed actions
Well, it depends. It's not the worst idea to clip it if it's gonna break the end anyways.
No, no, just passing its self-dot actions. Open bracket colon close bracket equals actions worked. Interesting. Let's see if it trains. Survey says, oh, got my hopes up there too. I wonder if this is in hyperparameters.
Like, it drives me nuts that, like, because I don't even want this to work almost, because, like, I don't want to have to maintain this piece of shit. Like,
That's we're
like, this packaging is just so ass. Like, I don't know who the fuck thought this was a good idea, the way that this is set up. This is just monumentally fucking stupid. Like, the fact that you can't easily apply different setup to different extensions without going through this whole weird-ass command system is just garbage.
yeah. Yeah, no, I agree.
But I'm, like,
Yeah.
trying to think how I replace this, and I'm just, like, coming up blank with alternatives.
Yeah, well, the other alternatives are also garbage. That's the issue. They're all kind of it's not training.
Did you have to do the thing where you like set the extensions temporarily to like only some of them?
No.
That's what you have in there.
Is it not compiling everything? Because it should be.
Alright, it's just so
Like,
ass.
everything works. Or
It's like
everything that
really ass.
like specifically what about it is ass?
The fact that I have to like separate all these freaking extensions down here, and then I resort through them, and then you have to fucking like replace. You're like overriding the self extensions temporarily to run this run command. It's jank as hell. This is like disgusting language tooling. And it's like disgusting language tooling and literally the most crucial thing to actually work in the entire project, which is that your users can fucking install it.
I would agree.
So like, I don't know, it's just baffling how shit the state of Python tooling is.
Oh, look at this. Claude agrees with you. The user is frustrated with the complexity of handling multiple extension types and setup tools. And they have a point.
Oh wow. Sycophant model says it's like whatever.
No, usually it doesn't because I make sure that it doesn't have stupid things that it's. The idea is for it to simply answer my question and say nothing else. It's a tool, hopefully.
Yeah, I don't know where my torch extensions are now. I don't see my torch extensions.
They're at the top, aren't they?
Maybe? I don't... Doesn't look like it.
Mm.
Now where's my damn torch extension? This doesn't build torch, dude.
At all?
I don't see it.
Huh, then how does it train?
Because you already have it cached.
Doesn't force.
No, it doesn't. Because guess what? The tooling sucks. And nothing works the way it's supposed to.
Need to clean.
Damn. I don't know what the fuck to do at this point.
Reach out to random people on the internet.
It's just like, how the fuck am I supposed to not only be able to get this to work, but then maintain and debug this across all the different systems when the tooling is this fucking dog shit? Like, ugh. And if I could just like write all my stuff in C and never deal with this like horrendous like language build system again, I'd be very happy.
What would you use to compile?
GCC or Clang. Like honestly, just writing C and CUDA is like pretty chill. This is not at all. Like I'm just trying to think of like what other way I could do the build system and I just can't fucking think of anything. See what Captain did with his env. I mean, like, honestly, the best way is probably to just force it to work with setup tools. Because everything else is just going to introduce more dumbass dependencies, right?
That's yeah. It's
Like, you're locked to setup tools. There's no alternative to setup tools in Python, right?
I mean, I think there are a couple, but
I think you're
they're
locked to set... Like,
you're
hang
asking
on.
for things that are good.
Designed for frickin'. They all have set up high.
I mean, everything seems to compile fine.
Do you actually get the binaries for the torch extensions?
You. 1 sec. Just trying to test out this continuous. Interesting.
If it does actually build the torch extension, let me know and like link it, and I will look at it in the morning. I'm like very unhappy with the way that this tooling is, and like I don't know how the fuck we release a package with the state that this stuff is in.
PufferLib build lib.linux. Yeah, there. I mean, there's a .so file there. Let me just delete this build folder. And run this. RMRF build. Find PufferLib -name. _C.
Okay, I think I found something. Maybe a little less ass. I got it.
You
I
got
got it in a way that's not total ass. I need to figure out a better way to do this filter, but there should be a better way to do this filter, but look.
Let's see, one sec. I gotta pull up the stream here. All right, I'm looking.
The train. Yeah, trains. Okay, so look, I got it. You see this?
Waiting for the stream to catch up. Okay.
A lot simpler,
That's
right?
it.
Now this filter
Yep.
bothers the hell out of me.
It's almost a little like make.
This filter bothers the fuck out of me.
But it bothers you less than my version.
Maybe.
My version does compile the CUDA
The
extension.
thing that's gross is that you have to like... This run doesn't take extensions, as far as I can tell. It relies on self-extensions. So to do jank overwriting of stuff.
Yeah, well. Yeah. Yep. That's seems to be the solution. Have you tried like Pong continuous, by the way?
No. Look, I haven't tried that at all.
It might, I mean, it's probably doesn't work, but it's more readily fixable than the setup.
Well, the setup's kind of important.
I agree.
I
it'll
got
read,
a thing. I think then Monday or whatever I will try. Actually, let me commit this. I guess on Monday, what I will try to do is I will try to figure out a relatively clean way to like get this now with the scythe on NC and everything, so that they don't fight.
That'd be nice.
And then we will go from there.
Sounds good. Because yeah, I think continuous might be kind of broken-y now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's for you to fix.
That's it. It took me quite a long time to figure out that fix, the so-called fix that apparently wasn't a fix for.
Well, I mean, now it should just be a matter of like figuring out how data's getting passed there wrong or whatever.
I think it's all right though. That's the thing.
Not sure then.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
you
know.
can, but you should be able to put breakpoints in the C now from the Python, so it shouldn't be that bad.
Cool.
Wait, really?
Yeah, that's the cool thing with the new bindings, Aaron.
Oh, that's so much nicer.
Yes, there's no Python. It's very cool. But you know, it's a lot of work to make this stuff simple because it's basically like, it really does feel like the farther I get away from just like chilling and writing C, the more it's like I'm fighting every motherfucking developer out there who just wants to do absolutely nothing but make your life hell by just adding like mounds and mounds of bullshit abstracted garbage. It's like fucking nuts. So it's like, honestly, when I'm developing, like when I'm writing CMs and stuff, it's like chill and I feel like I'm actually doing work. And when I'm doing all this stuff in Python, it's like I don't feel like I'm doing anything as much as I feel like I'm just fighting every other developer in existence.
Yeah.
You might be.
It's like actually obscene. So
Well,
I'm like,
the
I'm
effort
gonna do
has-
more algorithm stuff. Obviously, it has to be in Python or whatever for now, but like I gotta find a way to get myself to a place where I can be just deving more like low level stuff, because like god, the code is just such a pain.
Yeah.
I wish Torch had a C backend. I'd just use it.
Doesn't it?
C++ and jank at that.
Oh. Damn.
Okay. There's just too much curse stuff, honestly. Like, you
Yeah.
know, I got like neural MMO running like twice as fast on or ran like 3 times as fast on a 5090 as a 4090 with like very specific params, but then everything else is like tiny differences.
Yeah.
And I know the 5090 is not 3x faster. A bunch of jank stuff.
Yep. That sums it up.
It's okay. We'll get there.
Yeah. Job security.
I definitely do need to expand at some point with this, because it's like, if we're gonna be doing all this, it's like we gotta actually be solving some big problems. Like we gotta get like a power grid optimization contract
Yeah.
or something to pay all the bills, and then I can just like do this properly.
Yeah. Yeah.
We definitely want more machines.
Yeah. Here's the thing: you go in and the system they're using is something that's not at all optimized.
Then we'll rewrite it. But like if we're gonna be rewriting stuff, like it's gonna be for real money.
Rewrite, yeah. I suppose you don't want to do the PyTorch rewrite in C.
I mean, to be fair, it doesn't necessarily have to be rewritten as long as they can provide you with the correct information from their end and they're okay with, you know, potentially some latency because of the amount of time it takes to get their data.
I mean, that's what most people would say, Linky. I don't disagree. I think that's what happens in the real world. Joseph.
It's corporate to say the ball's in your court, so figure it out without putting liability on Puffer.
You know, that's one way to look at it. Joseph's got a mission.
My
good
mission
to-
is just to fix RL
right
and
yeah.
make enough money in the process to fund a good deal of private research.
I think it's a laudable goal. It's good. It's good to have your values too. When you start compromising values, it's not
Mhm.
necessarily selling out, but you lose something.
No, I've definitely seen with some of the client work. There are good clients and there are bad clients.
Well, yeah, that's
The good clients are the ones who are like, who realize that it's like, oh, okay, like these guys are so ridiculously far ahead of uh the rest of RL that like it would be crazy to not have them on our problem. And then they just like take all the free soda results that we provide them. Because like, we set soda, like that's a pretty damn good result for you. The bad ones are where it's like there's just, for the amount of the money the contract is, there's just like heaps and heaps and heaps and heaps of infra that you can't even work around or wrap or anything.
you're just mired
Like I
in a
realized like if we
proverbial
could, for
setup.
instance, we could do more stuff in robotics, but the cost is
Yeah.
going to have to go up substantially for the amount of work that there is to do with that. Because like I'm
Why?
down to jam a ton of code for that, but it's gotta be
Yeah.
buying
I
all the
guess
servers.
my question is, what, where do you think the cost is for robotics? Just humor me for a moment.
So basically they have 10 generations of trauma inflicted on like PhD student after PhD student, wrapping each other's garbage code, and nobody's ever bothered to write it correctly.
Okay.
It's horrible.
So, yeah, that's fair. That sounds like an inheritance mess, and
Yes.
I mean, just legacy, I guess. Because
Yes.
my thought is you can at least intro into robotics. I mean, we have the one binding that isn't Puffer proprietary, but as a good, like, deep, I guess,
Nothing's
emulation of,
proprietary.
like,
But
the proprietary is not a great word. It's just, I don't have a better word for
First party.
Puffer created.
First party.
Yeah, first party. So you can at least, middleman a lot of robotic stuff by setting up maybe, prime example, a small version of one of those industrial arms. You can set one of those up with like desktop servo motors and all that, and there will be minute differences between like pinouts and data lines. But realistically, all of those can be weighted between different arms. You just need like a reference plane to know around what weight to like some motors don't need near as much oomph to move the arm as
all I can see is it
others.
lifting
You would
weights
think so, and then you realize that
off
there
your
are
arm,
like 5 of those generations of trauma are just PhD
and there's
students doing
6
that
different
because all that
arms.
hardware stuff, like all the hardware interface is
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah,
I heard
like
a
I'm not
ROS.
talking go out there and get like Boston Dynamics materials, but
I don't know. I think that for now, the plan I have is pretty good for now, which is finish this damn release ASAP. This release is, we now have measurably better algorithms than just like PPO but faster. We have some crazy results. We're gonna get some even crazier results as we do all the sweeps for everything. And then I'm probably gonna want to spend a month just like figuring out all the other basically I want to figure out everything that DeepMind figured out and at least publish something of in the last 7 years. I want to like figure
yeah.
out what of all their research actually like is actually useful versus what of it is kind of just academic and like, yeah, if we crank compute to infinity, we can save 5 samples.
Yeah. What's the
Yeah.
theoretic versus the in practice?
Yeah, so I want to do that, and then hopefully we get something good from that. That would put Puffer like so far ahead because like obviously the way I will do it, right, is whatever I build out of that is going to be at least 10x simpler than whatever else is out there. So you're going to have fast and simple version of whatever I come up with there. That is pretty much enough that we can confidently be the best choice for RL anywhere in solving whatever problems there are. if it's not already clear that, like, you know, in specific domains, for instance, in robotics, like whatever, like, yeah, some people have specialized stuff, but if we just get like general algorithms better, then we'll just have better stuff. And then I think from there, I'd spend a little time growing the company so we can get all our servers. And then I think Puffer is gonna have
I
to
did
get,
want to ask,
well, we'll see.
what is your ETA for being like properly set up and start bringing in new boxes into your new place?
I ordered 2 tiny boxes yesterday. They'll be here in 2 weeks.
They're not
Alrighty.
tiny.
That's 12
They're
more
big.
GPUs.
I'm just asking because my schedule's about to get busy come the
No
end of
mention.
June.
We're not gonna have those, like, the new, like, the 30 boxes or whatever for a while, Inky, because it's got to be when the tariffs come down. I can't be paying plus 40%
No,
or more.
Could be 4 years.
yeah, that's.
I would be surprised.
I wouldn't go that far. I think they'll start to drop by midterm.
I think before that, I would sincerely hope. But in the meantime, though, I got us plus 12 GPUs, so we
Still
will
no
be able to
reaction.
do stuff with that.
Come on, Leaky. 12 4090s.
Yeah, like I'm excited. Is that going to be in a GPU server, or are those going to be dedicated 12 different machines?
It's 2 boxes of 6.
Okay, so
Yeah.
actual like GPU server.
You can look them up. It's tiny box V1s. V1s should be faster than V2s for us. They were also a bit cheaper.
Yeah.
It was.
Are you just
Yeah.
planning like usage wise to just use those GPUs together clustered, or are you thinking about separating them and like designating one GPU per container and having 6 containers per machine?
A mix, I would say. I think it's going to be better used on like larger jobs. So I think it's going to let us do
Yeah.
larger scale stuff. But I think that there's also going to be some room for like splitting it, but it's only going to work for the really fast M's to do that.
Yeah. And so what you're saying is start
Linky's not
thinking
quiet.
about
Linky's really loud.
ways. The what?
Was he too loud?
I don't freaking know. My mixer is weird.
My bad.
You're good.
So start thinking of ways of monitoring from a container level instead of a box level on my part, right?
I mean, hardware-wise, we still care more about the boxes. But I think that's fine. I think it's fine to still have box level stuff. I'm also going to start getting some of the boxes. As soon as those get here, I'm going to start shipping some of the ones from Florida. That I have them all here for maintenance. I'm not going to be here like full year round, right? I'm going to be in Florida some of the time. And I probably should spend a little bit of time in Palo Alto. Just because like all of the potential clients and stuff are there. Yeah, we'll see.
And where, like, you don't have to give me a specific area because I know you're on stream, but about where in the United States is your new facility?
I'm in Maryland.
Okay. I'm thinking, like, in case I have to fly out there for any, I'm trying to think of, like, coverage purposes.
For what?
Coverage purposes in the sense of, like, what if you want to go out on vacation for like 6 months in Europe or something for whatever reason? Like,
Oh,
what
I
can we
do
do
have.
to make like ensure uptime?
I have non-tech. There are non-technical people here that can do stuff. I will say.
Right? At some point, this isn't like set in stone or anything. Just at some point, I'd like a preferably maybe meet in person. I know that's kind of like risky, I guess.
That's
I don't
fine.
know. I've been
Good
and
show.
that just so I can give you a run through on like some of the hardware ideas I've come up with to answer like remote physical restarts and things like that.
Yeah, definitely. Does that make? I think that's like for when we get all the boxes, though, right? Because like right now we don't
Yeah.
have.
So this isn't
Mhm.
any time soon. I'm just saying I do have ideas. I've got prototypes to answer some of these problems, but it's like I can't really show in a stream capacity like how
Yeah.
things work.
Yeah, no worries. We're gonna see how stable stuff is as well with the new ones. Like a massive number of the problems were just straight up the shitty Intel chips, right?
Yeah. And I'm
I agree,
thinking you
probably.
said these machines are called Tiny Box V1.
Yeah, they're AMD chipped, I checked. It's 64090s and a 32 core AMD.
Is it by like Niant Studio?
No, it's the Tiny Corp. It's George
No,
Nuts.
it's not that.
I mean, they're nice boxes. I got them
I
because
see.
yeah, I got them because it was 12 GPUs for 50 grand. And I was just not going to get anywhere near that on desktops at the moment. Like normally desktops should be around that same price. It would probably be 55, 50 or 5.55 or 55 or 56 for like even for 10 boxes. Like these were actually pretty well spec'd for what they are. I don't know if I really needed two. I'd probably rather get one of those and like 6 individuals, but I can't really get the individuals at a reasonable price. So I figured it would be best to just have these now, so we have some compute for
Yeah.
Puffer. This will power a lot of open source research. We've had already clients are like interested. They want distributed training on stuff, so this will let us do all that optimization and testing in house. I thought it would just be good overall. So this should be a good. I think this will be a worthwhile investment. It'll let us do a lot of cool open source stuff. It'll let us do good research stuff, and hopefully also get some clients on this as well with some of the scale up stuff. Because like, once we start, let's say that we go to even like 5 million parameter policies. You can do a lot with a 5 million parameter policy, and then we get something like that training at millions of steps per second. Now we're talking, right?
Well, not only that, just like from a VRAM perspective as well.
VRAM isn't
Because
really a
I think
bottleneck.
by default now in PufferLib, well, we pin everything to GPU, right?
It's not pinned.
VRAM's not
Well,
even a thing.
yeah. So you don't. We keep the tensors on GPU, but that's not really a big issue. And there is an offload option.
How fast will it train
Yeah.
Pokemon?
Oh, you're right. There is offload.
But it's not great.
Um,
Like I actually. So the thing I realized today is I was really like one really stupid thing I realized today is I kept reading like the 1.8 terabyte whatever memory transfer on like modern GPUs. Yeah, dumbass me. That's not the number that matters. The number that matters is PCIe, and PCIe is only 32 gigs
Yeah.
up and down. So that's why we're actually
What
getting
gen is your
bottlenecked.
PCIe? Because that's where your IO actually is limited, where it connects to the board.
Yeah. So actually, one thing I couldn't tell here is it says 4, but then shows as 1 on the really fast box. But like the really fast box is faster than the one that's like than the Gen 5 or whatever I have locally. So I think that there's just like some weird misreporting. I can't imagine that any modern high-end motherboard wouldn't be a 5 like PCIe 5, right?
Yes and no,
Don't know.
because now you're fighting the RAM slots, the PCI slots, and the chipset versus like what firmware and what capabilities does the board actually have. So as easy as it would be to say across the boards, if you have this slot, then you're getting these speeds. There's more than just that that's limiting it. Like a prime example is you can't just say all motherboards with DDR3 have like PCI 2 Express or whatever the hell
Well,
they name it.
let me give you the good news on this though. The good news is that this problem is eventually going to go away because it's actually pretty unlikely that we're going to be doing more than 32 up, 32 down. if we get Gen 5 anyways, or even a fraction of that. The only problem is at the moment, like, let's say that we're doing 3 gigabytes even, and it's not pinned because the way our vectorization is at the moment, so it's more like 3x that. That's not done async.
Yeah.
So it's done synchronously, so that just adds flat 20% overhead. So I think what we're going to end up doing is we're going to be able to have a way to async queue our data transfers so that we can like really not start to see any overhead or latency until we are over the PCIe transfer speed limits. But that's going to require me to do a lot of work.
I was going to say, you could take a tip from that guy and, I guess, like, compress your data. Like, this is going to be a stretch to explain it, but instead of saying like raw bits over, you can send bytes over, converting from like, instead of, zeros and ones, sending hexadecimal over. Like, the least amount of information, the most.
We have done that before. We've tried that. It works, but that's not feasible for every env. They just send dense float data. So, I mean, there are a few different things in play as well. Like, I think there are a lot of places to optimize, but the cool thing is like we're already so much faster than everything else that like it's kind of just going to be nice to just be faster and faster and faster. But like it's already super fast. So I don't think it makes sense to just keep going nuts on pure perf optimizations, at least until we've circled back to do more algo stuff. So my hope is that, look, I've gotten most of this stuff into a decent spot. If we see, I actually just now have 128 sweep on breakout here. See how fast this is.
Isn't more algo stuff just perf though?
Not really. Okay, there you go. So this is matching right now. It's not doing any better, but this is a 24-second solve right here. So this will keep running overnight. We're gonna do like similar final sweeps on everything. We're gonna really get some good policies, some good train speeds and stuff. On everything is gonna be the goal. We're gonna put out a bunch of good material, hopefully drive some users to Puffer. And then it's going to be algo time. And algo time is going to be like robustness, stability. It's also going to be like fundamentally better learning curve, not just faster on same learning curve, hopefully. And it's also going to be ability to scale for slower M's, which is very important.
Yeah.
So it's going to be quite a lot.
That is a
Tangential, maybe. What are your thoughts on having a standard Puffer API?
Or what?
Yeah, I mentioned it. You want to look at the mini Puffer?
No, I'm not worried about a mini Puffer. That's honestly, that's a project on my end to keep things clean for me, and I can see how it could be beneficial for other people. Setting that aside, because that is just PufferLib without framework and all of the environments. That's all it is.
Puffer framework is gone from Puffer.
Well, it was not in 1.0 when I initially released Puffer Mini.
I'm just telling you, I already deleted framework.
Correct. Well, I just mean like you still rely on the cleanrl.py. That's still in the PufferLib directory.
That's gone.
Really?
Yep. I've done a lot of work.
I'm gonna have to rewrite some stuff then, because I'm gonna
clean PufferRL
damn
demo.py plus clean PufferRL are now one file, and it's less than 900 lines of code.
Nice.
I've done a lot of work.
So what I mean by API is like I'm hesitant to call it the cream of the crop, but the most well-known findings that most people use for environments are going to be your gym and your gymnasium API, if you want to call it that. You follow that and it works with most machine learning. Standardizing that for not only Python but C environments in PufferLib would be amazing, as well as just standardizing like your your vectors, your makes, and things like that, so you don't have all that boilerplate per environment every time. Just
So-
standardizing something.
Boilerplate reduction,
Go
very
ahead.
good. Boilerplate reduction is very good, and I've been trying, like, that was the new env bindings without Scython, was trying to help with that. I'm still working on, more of that, but it's a lot better than it was.
So I've heard I still have to
standardization-
go over all of the new binding PRs as well.
I don't think standardization is super important at this point, honestly. I think just like making one-offs easy is more important. So like for whatever the heck problem people have, it should be easy to tailor a thing to them more than it should be like try to get it out of the box fully. Because if you try to get I think trying to get it out of the box fully, you're gonna fail and you're gonna overcomplicate it. That's my impression at the moment.
Yeah, I
I
guess.
agree. But also Linky, what he's doing is actually he
Doing
doesn't
good.
see it as such, but what he's doing is actually doing what you're saying. It's not per se standardization, but what it is doing is making it so that there are
There's
strict,
something that looks like an API, but I'm not committing to it
boys.
as an API.
Talk to you later.
Yeah.
So
All right, deuces.
There is something that looks like an
kind of
API,
the
but I'm
gist-
not committing. I'm not committing to an API, if that makes sense. Like it's gonna keep changing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's the answer I was looking for. I want to do everything I can, at least on my end, to not have to keep rewriting things. It's a big part of the reason I stopped some development on my environment, because I don't want to write the old Scython bindings to have to change it to the new bindings and all of that. I just said I'll wait until your 2.5 or your 3.0 release. I just mean in my comings and goings, because I frequent Reddit and I frequent the reinforcement learning boards on Reddit, there is unfortunately all those people that want to half-ass their projects and stick to an API, and that's what makes something like Gymnasium so nice,
we
because
don't
they can go.
necessarily care that much anymore because like the thing is all those libraries aren't going to be able like they're also slow and bad anyways. They're not going to be able to solve the same types of problems that Puffer would be
Yeah,
able to solve. So like in general, I don't care about half-assed users unless they're paying. And then
true.
generally if the users are paying, like we will make it very easy on them. But I care about the users who are actually going to like bother to try and read things. And that's generally like, ideal users are people like, oh wow, CleanRL is great. I wish it were fast and like could log and stuff, right?
yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like the
Yeah.
major selling point of PufferLib, honestly.
Yeah. So I know I think this release will be pretty dang good. I have to do still a whole bunch of work. I need to get some rest because I've just been grinding this thing constantly. But like we're making very good progress here. So I'm gonna call it a night, and I will be back on Monday most likely.